A heater rattles in a building that never quite warms. A knock at the door. 3 slow taps. And for a second, your whole life depends on how a hand moves across a peephole. A door that clicks the wrong way can change everything. That night, I learned how ordinary house sounds keep secrets or spill them. I'm going to tell you about that night. Welcome back to S&J Pride. I'm Samnang, storyteller and proud husband. If you're new here, this is where we bring the small, vivid moments of gay life into the light, so they stop feeling like shame and start feeling like strategy. Quick safety note before we go deeper. This episode talks about privacy and closeting. If anything I say brings up fear about your housing or safety, please pause and consider professional or legal help for your situation. What I promise you today is a lived story and a toolkit you can adapt. Small, reversible moves. Nothing that requires a contractor or puts you at risk.
And I'm James. If you've ever felt like the walls around you were listening, or if you live with someone who can't be fully visible, you're in the right place. We'll share a story, some practical privacy moves, and a short experiment you can try this week. We keep things dignity first here. Protection, without turning life into a fortress.
Why does home privacy matter? Because visibility is a sound as much as a sight. Deliveries with the wrong label, laughter down a hallway that attracts a suspicious neighbor, footsteps from your building's stairwell timed with your late-night phone calls. For James and me, it was never abstract. It was daily life. Today, I'll walk you through 3 household scenes that taught me how to make a home that keeps love safe. And then we'll turn those lessons into practical steps you can actually do. Scene 1. The knock. It was late, winter, the radiator ticking like a metronome. James had a job the next morning. He was still in deep closet mode at work. I remembered the energy in the apartment. Quiet, careful. Someone knocked. Not the soft, polite knock, but a sharp 3 knocks that sounded like they were trying to get in fast. My stomach dropped. James froze. I moved to the door, and my hands suddenly remembered the script we'd practiced, a slow 2-sentence response we could use for anyone who came by unannounced. I opened the door a sliver and said, "Hey, I'm just putting a kid to bed. Can I call you back?" That pause, no names, no lying beyond protecting our safety, kept a conversation from becoming a confrontation.
I was watching him from the couch, heart hammering. In that moment, protection felt like love. Not controlling, loving. He didn't close me off. He opened a way for me to breathe. That line, "I'm just putting a kid to bed," gave me space and kept dignity. It let us both keep our lives intact.
Scene 2. The neighbors overheard comment. There was a man across the hall who liked to lean on the stairwell and talk louder than necessary. One night he said something about guys who come and go while we were washing dishes. At first I thought it was nothing. Then I noticed how James flinched at the sink, how he paused over a plate and held a smile that didn't reach his eyes. You start hearing everyday sounds as risk. A blender, luggage being rolled in the hallway. Even which side of the bed you sleep on becomes code. We began to test small changes. I switched the stereo to a white noise playlist when James needed to sleep. We shifted our dinner time by 30 minutes to avoid peak hallway traffic. Little moves, huge relief.
Scene 3. Rebuilding routines. After a week of trying half measures, we sat at the kitchen table and made rules that were about care, not secrecy. We created a nightly code, 2 words, harmless on their own, that meant delay the conversation, not the comfort. We designated a drawer for sensitive mail deliveries that arrived after work hours. We practiced a 1-minute door check routine where we closed curtains, set the white noise, and said a 2-sentence goodnight. That ritual transformed our evenings from tense to tender. The point wasn't to hide forever. It was to make a space where James could rest and be himself when the world outside was not safe.
From my side, safety felt like being seen and chosen. When Samnang learned to notice the tiny triggers, mail that said Mr. on it, the neighbor who liked to ask about guests, I felt protected. But more than that, I felt wanted. Those rituals told me, I'm matter enough for you to change your life a little so I can be okay. That is the heart of it.
Okay, now the toolkit. These are low-cost, reversible ideas you can try without changing your locks or moving cities. I grouped them into sound, timing, delivery, and scripts. Start with sound buffers, a small white noise speaker by the bed, rugs in the hallway to muffle footsteps, and a fan set low during calls. Timing, stagger your schedules. Shift calls by 20-30 minutes if the building gets busy at 7 p.m. Pick a 2-minute quiet window before and after coming home. Delivery. Ask for neutral packaging from couriers when possible, or have packages left with a friend. Mail. Consider a P.O. box, or ask for resident rather than a gendered title on deliveries. Each fix is cheap and reversible. Test one for a week. See how it lands. A few concrete tools you can implement tonight. Buy a $15 white noise machine or use a phone app. Place a rug at the front door and add a privacy drawer where unexpected mail goes for 48 hours. If a neighbor knocks unexpectedly, use a 2-sentence neutral response. I'll give you 3 in a minute. That doesn't name anyone and lets you buy time. Simple, repeatable actions are the ones you actually keep doing.
Now, dignity-first scripts for neighbors and visitors. The goal? Deflect, delay, or set boundaries without lying in a way that eats at you. Script 1. Deflecting. Oh, hi. Sorry, we weren't expecting anyone. Can I call you back? Script 2. Delaying with a neutral reason. We have a sleeping child, guest, or pet right now. Can we schedule a better time? Script 3. Boundary setting. We don't take visitors without a heads up. If you need something urgent, please send a message. None of these reveal private details. They buy time and protect your partner's dignity. Practice them so they land naturally.
Those scripts were like a permission slip for me. When Samnang used them, I wasn't being hidden, I was being sheltered. It mattered that the words were short and didn't paint us as dishonest. They were small acts of respect that said, we'll handle this together.
Domestic rituals that normalize safety. This is where the magic happens. Turn protection into care by making it a shared, even sweet routine. Example Ritual 1, the nightly 2-word check-in. 2 harmless words you say at lights out, something like cupcakes ready, that mean white noise on, curtains closed, breathing space. Example 2, the 2-minute arrival window. When one of us gets home, we take 120 seconds to align. Shoes off, curtains drawn, mail in the drawer. Example 3, the delivery dance. One person pretends to be on a phone call while the other retrieves the package and slides it into the privacy drawer. These small patterned actions stop protection from feeling clinical and make it a language of care.
And if you're worried these rituals sound performative, hear me. They become real over time. The first week, it felt awkward. By week 3, the ritual was our way of saying, I got you, without having to say anything heavy. That is worth practicing.
1-week experiment. Pick 2 moves. I recommend 1 sound/timing fix and 1 ritual. Example plan. 1. Start a white noise playlist 30 minutes before bed. 2. Use the 2-word check-in at lights out every night. Each evening, write 1 sentence in a journal. What felt different, what felt strange, and 1 small emotional note like, I slept better, or I felt seen. On day 7, sit with your partner for 5 minutes and debrief. What helped, what felt invasive, and what you'll keep. If you live alone but support a closeted friend or partner, run the same experiment with them. Get consent before you change anything. Small, reversible, testable. That's the point.
Important guardrails before you try anything. Don't do anything that could risk your housing. No unauthorized locks, no confrontations with landlords without legal advice. Test scripts privately first. Pause and debrief with your partner before rolling out any ritual that changes daily life. And if any of this brings up trauma or fear deep enough that you can't manage it alone, please consider talking with a counselor, a tenant advocate, or someone you trust. We're not therapists. We're two men sharing a path that worked for us.
If you're listening and you're exhausted by constant vigilance, listen to this. Your exhaustion is valid. You don't have to have it all figured out today. Try one small thing. Tell one person you trust that you're experimenting. And if you can, send us a note. Tell us one tiny move you tried. Hearing about small wins helps everyone feel less alone.
If you're listening and you feel afraid to try these things because you might upset your household or neighbor, here's a simple script to test privately first. Rehearse the lines alone, practice the arrival routine with no one at home, and write down the exact words so you don't improvise under stress. Practice keeps dignity intact. I learned this the hard way. Rehearsal makes it feel natural instead of performative. Quick examples of neutral language for deliveries and mail. Leave it at the front desk, thanks. Can you mark it as resident? I'll pick up from the branch. Simple shifts, big payoff. If you're in a building where you can't control deliveries, make a plan with a neighbor you trust or a nearby friend. If that isn't possible, consider a P.O. box temporarily or have important things sent to work. Whatever keeps someone's dignity intact.
We also want to flag one more thing. Privacy tactics should never become another way to shame someone into staying closeted. These are tools for a season or a circumstance, not a permanent penalty. Use them so your partner can rest and thrive, and use them with consent and curiosity. Check in. Is this protecting our safety or keeping us locked in fear? Ask that question together.
One last small story before we go. The first night we did the 2-word check-in, James whispered the phrase, and then, this is true, he laughed out loud into his pillow. It was the sound of sudden relief. I remember thinking, we did that. We made a small system that let him sleep. That's the beautiful part. Protection as tenderness. If you need permission to try something small and imperfect, consider this your permission. You're not the only one trying to protect love in small ways. If anything in this episode landed for you, we want to hear one tiny thing you'll try this week. Comment or DM us, I hear you, and the move, white noise or 2-word check-in. Or send an anonymous voicemail about a small home win. We read these and they matter. And if this episode brought up anything heavy about your safety or housing, please reach out to a local tenant advocate or a mental health professional before making big changes.
Thank you for being here with us. You're not alone. Take a breath, try one small thing this week, and tell us how it goes. We see you.
We're Samnang and James, and this is S&J Pride. True gay love stories, real drama, real strength. We'll be back with another story and another set of tools. Don't forget, a door that clicks the wrong way can change everything, but a tiny ritual can change a life.